Hello, and welcome back to the final installment to my clan generator challenge. It has been a long time coming. I started this project years ago, and we are now nearing the end of 2025, and I am finally done. The art and the script for this video have been done for a while, but I've been moving quite a bit and settling in, and I have finally found the time to put everything together. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their patience throughout this project, and I really hope you guys enjoy the final installment, that being of TulipClan, who is known as the Steady and Friendly. So as I stated before, we are going to be talking about TulipClan today. I have a little introduction, so we'll hop right into that. TulipClan, the warriors who reside in the east. Their territory is full of rolling, grass-covered hills and open sky. Thick brush runs occasionally throughout their territory and along the edges. Towards the end of their territory, the untamed grasslands give way to abandoned two-leg fields, long forgotten. These fields have been left to grow wild, the abandoned wheat rising and dying through the seasons. The cats of TulipClan have made their clan camp within a large abandoned two-leg barn. The structure, although weathered from age, continues to stand strong and offers the cats of TulipClan protection from all the elements. Their nests are the warmest, and they often have the most well-fed out of all of the clans. TulipClan cats are often teased by the other clans for being too welcoming to outsiders. Majority of TulipClan's original numbers were made up of loners, kitty pets, and former barn cats who resided in the barn beforehand, or who wandered from the old two-leg territory. TulipClan cats have learned to brush these insults aside over time. They are strong, and the most peaceful of the four clans. They prefer to stay out of conflict and have an easier time patrolling their borders due to the natural wall of thick brush surrounding their territory offers. TulipClan's prey consists mostly of field mice. They also often come across small creatures like rabbits and the occasional squirrel or chipmunks and moles. In regards to predators, the most common that TulipClan cats come across or face-to-face with are foxes or the occasional wild dog. Deer are sometimes seen roaming the fields, and the cats of TulipClan often consider their sightings to be good omens because of their original leader was known as Fawnstar. And before we go into the detailed descriptions and drawings of all the cats, here is a general overview of the makeup of TulipClan. They have quite a few apprentices, and as I've grown a little bit more comfortable with the challenge, I've made a few more changes here or there than I have in previous videos, so those are all noted here and will be listed in the official descriptions for the cats. So let's get on into it and meet all the characters. Okay, starting us off, we are going to talk about the leader of TulipClan, TulipStar. TulipStar is described as a red classic pseudo-tabishi cat with long fur and amber eyes. TulipStar is known to be fierce, extremely protective of her family and clanmates, dependable, and motherly. She is the definition of the fierceness that a queen can carry for her young. TulipStar never really imagined herself as leader of TulipClan while she was growing up. She was an average apprentice who, like most, worked hard and steered clear of trouble. She knew one day she wanted to have a mate and kits, but that all went on hold when the former leader Hawkstar named her his deputy. Chantrell accepted and did her best to serve her clan. Nothing came before it. She was always the first to rise in the mornings and the last to go to sleep. Moons of working as hard as she did shaped her into the leader that she is today. In the middle of her time as deputy, Chantrell became mates with Coottail. The two did like each other, but those close to them could tell that Chantrell mainly accepted the Tom's proposal to one day hope have a family of their own. The two tried for kits a few times towards the end of her time as deputy, but none of the litters ever went to full term. It wasn't until Chantrell became leader that she and Coot were blessed with their first and only litter of kittens, Daffodil Kit and Storm Kit. Waxberry had always loved daffodils, and Storm Kit was named after Spiderstorm, Chantrell's previous mentor. Chantrell became furiously loyal over her children, and she loves them deeply. She has since split with Cootail, and Chanterelle has resigned herself to the idea that she will most likely not have any more kids in her lifetime. She instead has decided to focus on her family that she does have, along with the entirety of her clan, and continues to look over them with a never-ending ferocity. Moving on to the clan's deputy, we're going to talk about Spiderstorm. Spiderstorm is described as a short-haired black tom with copper eyes. Spiderstorm is an older tomcat who is known to be gentle, patient, a good listener, wise, and a hard worker. He was Chanterelle previous mentor, and a cat whom she holds dear to her heart. Spider is mates with Whitefoot, an elder of the clan. He is also the father to Lilyfang, who is his and Whitefoot's only kit. It came to no surprise when Chanterelle named Spiderstorm her deputy. It was clear to all that she trusted the older Tom's advice and knowledge. Spiderstorm feels that he is nearing his end of term as deputy. The idea of spending his days resting in the Elder's Den is growing more and more appealing to his tired bones. He has little desire to become leader. He accepted the role solely to help Chanterelle through the transition into leadership. Spider is waiting for the current round of apprentices to finish training, and then he has decided that that is when he will retire. Many warriors currently have their paws full with mentoring the rambunctious group of Loud Toms and Marigold Paw, and has decided that the less change is better at the moment. He feels that once the warrior's den is a little fuller, the clan will be better suited for the shift in authority. Moving on to our third cat, we are going to talk about the medicine cat Waxberry. Waxberry is described as a long-haired, red, classic pseudo-tabby she-cat with gold eyes. Waxberry is known to be an intelligent she-cat who sometimes lacks the empathy needed in her position. She is logical, practical, and very detail-oriented. She is working on paying more attention to the emotions of cats around her and is learning a lot from having Daffodil Paw as her apprentice. The Tom is a lot more in tune with his emotions than she is. Waxberry never considered herself to have the heart of a warrior. She had no interest in hunting and even less interest in fighting. Even as a kid, she spent most of her time with her nose in the medicine cat den, underneath the paws of her former mentor Sunthroat. Waxberry is very analytical, and oftentimes this can lead her clanmates or cats outside the clan to thinking she is odd, not very personable, and sometimes rude. If anything though, Waxberry simply lacks the empathy that many possess. She wants to help the clan however she can, but that usually means coming up with ways to keep prey better longer, being an active and well-trained medicine cat, and being calm in tense situations. She is also the sister to Chanterelle and the aunt to Daffodil Paw and Stormstep. Okay, and we have now made it on to our warriors. So starting us off, we are going to talk about Slugheart. Slugheart is described as a black spotted tabby she-cat with sparse fur and green eyes. She is known to be sarcastic, sharp-tongued, sometimes lazy, emotionally unavailable, and extremely bullheaded. She is Cootail's mother and one of the few cats that took her son's side when the argument between him and Chanterelle arose. Slug should have moved to the Elder's Den back before some of the other elders like Lioncloud and his sister Astrodel Ear, but she has continuously refused despite Chanterelle's nearly constant pleading. She often says that she will retire when she feels is right, and that no one else can convince her otherwise. Our next warrior is Lilyfang. Lilyfang uses she/they pronouns. They are described as a small, short-haired white she-cat with black and red spotted calico tabby tail and ears with yellow eyes. Lilyfang is known to be proud, a hard worker, trustworthy, and an excellent mentor. Lilyfang is the daughter of Spiderstorm and Whitefoot. She is currently mentoring Shrivelpaw. They are partnered together due to their similar white-colored pelts. She is smaller than most of the warriors, but her bite is definitely worse than her bark. Lilyfang is one, if not the best fighter in all of TulipClan. She stands proud as one of Chanterelle's senior warriors, and is highly trusted by the leader. Lily doesn't solely identify as a she-cat, and was actually one of the cats to whom Daffodil spoke to. They talked for a while about gender and gender identity, and it was through this conversation that Daffodil had come to terms with the fact that he is a Tom that just simply enjoys more feminine things and activities. Lily Fang is who the clan thinks Sagestar will actually be picking for her next deputy when her father retires. Next up is Coottail. Coottail is described as a short-haired, black mackerel tabby Tom with green eyes. Coottail is known to be opinionated, a skilled warrior, and the best hunter in the clan. He is also extremely proud and worries a lot about upholding his reputation. He is currently mentoring Frogpaw. Coottail always was striving to be something in his life. He didn't want to be a normal warrior. He worked hard as an apprentice, training directly under Hawkstar, and deeply wished to be made the Tom's deputy when he was old enough. When Chantrell Star, then Chantrell Mask, was made deputy, Coottail was frustrated and hurt by the decision. He had always been better than Chantrell during training, better at hunting, better at fighting, more ambitious, but Hawkstar must have seen something in her that originally he did not. As they grew older, Coottail began to admire Chantrell Mask a little more. She began to grow more confident as the clan's deputy, and Coot began to see more of what Hawkstar had seen in the ginger she-cat. This admiration eventually developed into attraction, and eventually he professed his love to the deputy. When Chantrell had their kits early into her leadership, Coot was excited. He was looking forward to being a father, but more so, he knew how much having a family meant to his mate. He was a little hurt when both kits were named after the cats close to Chantrell Star, but his mate promised him that eventually she would give her kits suffixes that were close to him, so he relented. As the kits developed more into themselves, Coot was constantly put off by how much the kits were not like him. Storm Kit, yes, carried his pelt color, and Daffodil his eyes, but there was a rift growing between them every day. Coot didn't really interact with his kits, or really any kits. He found it hard to find similarities and things to bond over with them, and it only became more difficult when Daffodil Kit, his only son, decided he would rather train under his sister-in-law as a medicine cat rather than a warrior like himself. This frustration with himself eventually bubbled over, and unable to express his emotions, something taught to him to be stern and closed off by his mother, Coottail lashed out at his mate and kits. This led to him and Chantrell splitting up, with the connections with their son and daughter becoming even more strained than it had been. Coottail doesn't know how to repair his relationship, and his pride is blocking him from trying. He felt his heart break a little when Stormpaw was named Stormstep, a name that had nothing to do with him or his family. He still holds out hope that Chantrell will keep her promise when it comes to Daffodil, if he has any say in his name at all. Next on our list is Tansy Whisker. Tansy Whisker is described as a short-haired, cream-ticked pseudo-tabby Tom with amber eyes. Tansy Whisker is known to be adventurous, funny, friendly, and good-natured. He is currently mentoring Fawnpaw. Tansy Whisker joined the clan back when he himself was around the age of an apprentice. Back then, he went by the name Teddy. He was a loner who had wandered throughout the Two-Leg territory for a while before he headed north in search of the rumored clan cats that lived near the mountains. He found his way into TulipClan territory and was welcomed into the clan by Hawkstar, and soon took on a warrior name. Tansy Stream is a loyal cat, and everyone in TulipClan knows this. He has never shied away from the fact that he was not clan-born, and this is why Chantrell Star paired him up with Fawnpaw. Next up is Nightstream. Nightstream is described as a black mackerel tabby she-cat with silky fur and amber eyes. Nightstream is known to be smooth-spoken, educated, perceptive, and clever. She is currently mentoring Hornetpaw. Nightstream is an average warrior, but a hard-working one. She has always been driven and observant, usually offering the clan suggestions and advice when needed. She sometimes acts as the clan's mediator in times when there is a voice needed to help soothe conflict. Originally, Nightstream was a rogue who joined the clans under the name Night. She took a warrior name and began training under Spiderstorm for a short period of time while she learned the clan's customs. She is happy to be settled somewhere secure and structured. Rogue life never suited her, as she hated constantly being on the go and never knowing what and where she was safe. She hopes to eventually, someday, settle and have a family. And for our last warrior, we're going to talk about Stormstep. Stormstep is described as a black and ginger she-cat with short fur and amber eyes. Stormstep is known to be confident, charming, gallant, and independent. She is currently mentoring Marigoldpaw. Stormstep is the daughter of Sagestar and Coottail and the sister to Daffodilpaw. Storm wears the other half of a monarch butterfly wing behind her ear. Stormstep contains many of the good traits that both of her parents possessed. She's a skilled hunter, an all-around clan member like her father, as well as protective and confident like her mother. She has a soft spot for her brother and often stood up for him when they were kits and apprentices. Stormstep sided immediately with her mother when the issues with Daffodilpaw arose. She was appalled by the words her father spoke, something that very much broke her heart, as she had looked up to him a lot when they were a kit, despite the distance from them. Stormstep tried hard during her apprenticeship to get close to her father and grandmother, but was often pushed away, despite Slughart often saying that she was her favorite between her and her brother. Stormstep is early into her warriorship, but is eager to prove herself. She hopes to one day follow in her mother's footsteps and lead TulipClan as well as she has. She works closely with Spiderstorm, making mental notes on how he selects patrols and general supports TulipClan as their deputy. In recent moons, Stormstep has begun to develop a crush on Nightstream. She finds the she-cat to be admirable. She finds her intelligence attractive and hopes that one day she might be able to catch the other she-cat's eye as she has. And we're moving on to our apprentices. Starting us off, we are going to talk about Daffodilpaw, who is the medicine cat apprentice. Daffodil, or Daffy to his friends and family, is described as a short-haired, red mackerel pseudo-tabby tom with green eyes. Daffodilpaw is known to be soft-spoken, empathetic, reasonable, and humble. He is a shoulder to lean on when anyone requires anything. His mentor, Waxberry, is his aunt, his mother is Sagestar, and his father is Coottail. His litter mate is Stormstep. Daffodilpaw wears half of a monarch butterfly wing behind his ear, matching his sister. He has a little garden outside of the barn that he likes to take care of. He grows herbs there, but also flowers that he likes. In the spring, he will take the flower seeds he has collected through the year and sprinkle them around TulipClan territory to have wildflowers bloom throughout their land. Waxberry wasn't surprised when Daffodil approached her before his and his sister's apprentice ceremony and requested to train under her as a medicine cat rather than a warrior. Chantal was proud of her son, but Daffodil could tell that his father was somewhat disappointed in him. Coot had always claimed that Daffodil was too gentle, or soft, or downright feminine for a tom. These words always bothered Daffodil. It wasn't until Waxberry could sense something was up that he confided in his aunt and mentor. Waxberry was soon told her sister about Coottail's words and thoughts that they were instilling in their son. Outraged, Chantal confronted her mate and their discussion soon dissolved into an argument. Chantal believed that Coot should love their kits no matter who they were. Coot, on the other hand, disagreed. Eventually, the tensions became too much and Sagestar and Coottail split up, something that Daffodil still blames himself for. Shrivelpaw is described as a short-haired, white tom with amber eyes. Shrivelpaw is known to be hardworking, understanding, patient, and sociable. His mentor is Lilyfang, and he and the white she-cat get along well. He really likes learning techniques that involve hiding himself amongst plain sight due to his light-colored pelt. Under his mentorship, he's become an excellent hunter, and the clan like to tease Coottail that in a few moons, he probably will be able to out-hunt the older tom. Shrivelpaw's mother was a warrior who has since passed away. Her name was Deerspring, and Shrivelpaw misses her quite a bit, but he has grown more independent as time goes on. Shrivel is nearing his warrior ceremony, and he is eager to join Stormstep in the warrior's den. The young tom has fancied the she-warrior since she helped him with extra training that he needed to make up for what he lost when he was grieving Deerspring. He hopes to confess his feelings for the black and ginger she-cat once he becomes a warrior. Frogpaw is described as a cinnamon tom with long fur and yellow eyes. Frogpaw is known to be cool, masculine, focused, and protective of his littermate. His mentor is Coottail, and their mentorship has left Frogpaw to be a little colder to others than he was before his apprenticeship began. A fair amount of Coottail's ideals and opinions have been passed on to the Cinnamon Tom. Both Coot and Frogpaw have a close relationship, as Frogpaw is very much the ideal of a son that Coottail wanted. Frogpaw is large, tough, an excellent fighter, and determined to prove himself. When the drama happened regarding Coottail's family, Frogpaw felt very torn. On one paw, he agreed with his mentor. Weak cats make for weak clanmates, which then makes TulipClan weak. But on the opposite paw, Frogpaw really loves his brother Fawnpaw, who is a lot like Daffodil in personality and interests. In the end, Frogpaw remained quite neutral on the topic, often choosing to stay quiet when the entire thing happened. Whenever anything was turned on Fawnpaw, though, he was quick to defend his brother and fight for the smaller Tom's battles when he felt like he needed to. Our next apprentice is Fawnpaw. Fawnpaw uses he/him pronouns, but he is questioning. Fawnpaw is described as a small chocolate Tom with short fur and green eyes. Fawnpaw is known to be quiet, respectful, cooperative, and peaceful. His mentor is Tansy Whisker, and the pair get along quite well. With no family in the clan besides his brother, Frogpaw, Fawnpaw has looked up to Tansy Whisker much like a father or an older brother. Fawnpaw is discovered on the Oleander side of the territory between TulipClan and Oleander Clan. Neither clan knew the origins of where the kits had come from, but unlike Oleander, who turned the kits away, despite them being on their side of the border, TulipClan welcomed them with open paws. They brought the two kits in, and Sagestar, who had been towards the end of nursing her own kits, took the two of them in and helped feed them until they were strong enough to eat solid food. Fawnpaw is close to Daffodil Paw and Stormstep, but not entirely. Daffodil and Storm were close to becoming apprentices when they were found as young kits, so they didn't share a nest with them for very long at all. Instead, him and Frogpaw see the other two more as close friends and cats that they can trust wholeheartedly. Fawnpaw is someone who Daffodil Paw confided in when all the drama was happening with Coottail. Fawnpaw is also quiet and soft-spoken, but unlike Daffodil, he is questioning his gender identity. The two have become very close as they navigate the world of gender and gender non-conforming roles in the clan. Next up is Hornetpaw. Hornetpaw is described as a red-spotted tabby Tom with short fur and green eyes. Hornetpaw is known to be impulsive, venturesome, creative, and dramatic. His mentor is Nightstream. Chantrell paired the two of them up together in hopes that Nightstream's analytical behavior would help to ebb the young apprentice's ecstatic and impulsive personality. So far, it hasn't. Hornet has a good relationship with his mother Yellowpout and his sister, though he misses his dad Pollentuff a lot since he's passed. Hornetpaw is a cat who doesn't let others' opinions and moods towards him affect him. He is constantly in his own world and enjoys making up stories and conquering foes that no other cat can see. As a kit, Hornetpaw and his sister Marigold Paw spent quite a bit of time in the Elder's Den listening to their stories. That is where the Tom's creative imagination began. Even as an apprentice, he can constantly be seen hanging around the elders, bugging them and asking them to tell him as many stories as they can remember. And for our last apprentice, we are going to talk about Marigold Paw. Marigold Paw is described as a short-haired, cream classic tabby she-cat with hazel eyes. Marigold Paw is known to be thoughtful, curious, passionate, and sweet. Her mentor is Stormstep, and the two of them have been getting along wonderfully. When assigning her daughter her first apprentice, especially so early into her warriorship, Sagestar had wanted a level-headed and easier to manage apprentice for Storm. Marigold Paw had filled that gap easily. Unlike her brother, Marigold is present in her day-to-day life. She enjoys being a part of TulipClan and rarely complains about her apprentice duties like the other apprentices. She too enjoys spending time in the Elder's Den listening to their stories, but unlike her brother Hornetpaw, she's able to draw the line between imagination and reality. Marigold also likes to spend time in the Medicine Cat Den, helping Waxberry and Daffodil Paw in her free time. When she was a kit, Daffodil Paw had been happy to share what he knew about herbs with the cream she-cat, and Marigold Paw had always found them interesting. Sometimes, when some of the marigold has lost its potency, Daffodil will give the leftover petals to Marigold Paw, and she is happy to decorate her fur with them. The pair enjoy weaving flowers and other plants into their fur together. It was Marigold Paw who found the special butterfly wings that Daffodil Paw and Stormstep now wear behind their ears. Moving on to our queens, or should I say queen, we're going to talk about Yellowpelt. Yellowpelt is described as a short-haired, cream-spotted tabby she-cat with amber eyes. Yellowpelt is known to be soothing, gentle, patient, protective, and forgiving. She is the mother to Hornet Paw and Marigold Paw, both of which became apprentices only a moon or so ago. Yellowpelt's mate had been a red and cream-colored tom named Pollen Tuft. The pair were absolutely in love with each other and had planned to spend the rest of their lives together, but sadly, Pollen Tuft passed away defending their apprentice at the time, Snifflepaw, from a dog attack that had ambushed them while they were out training. Sadly, both cats lost their lives in the accident, and Yellowpelt has been grieving the loss of her mate since. The pair had only one litter of kits before Hornet and Marigold, but Yellowpelt had been a young queen and sadly lost both she-kits after they were born. Yellowpelt's history has sadly been plagued by a loss of many of those close to her, but she has persevered and done her best to contribute to the clan throughout the moons. The passing of her mate has left the queen with trauma, though, and Yellowpelt refuses to leave the safety of the barn unless it's a close-by surrounding area. Sagestar and her spoke, and it was decided that Yellowpelt would become a full-time queen instead and stay within the safety of the camp and nursery. With no current kits in the den since they moved to the Apprentice den, Yellowpelt has felt lonely. She misses Pollen Tuft greatly and wonders sometimes if he would want her to move on or not. And finally, we're moving on to our elders. Starting us off, we're going to talk about Asphodel Ear. Asphodel Ear is described as a beautiful, short-haired, light cream and white spotted pseudo-tabby she-cat with green eyes. Asphodel Ear can be described as bullheaded, prideful, vivacious, and debonair. Asphodel is one of the newest elders who just within the last moon has moved to the Elder Den, along with her brother Lioncloud. In her warrior days, Asphodel was known as the prettiest she-cat in TulipClan. She took great care of her pelt and was often known to smell of mint and flowers. Asphodel never took a mate, as she cared little for steady relationships and preferred to not settle down. She had 2 litters of kits, both with unknown toms who many believe were not from TulipClan. Asphodel has been suffering from bouts of confusion for the last little bit that has left her lost within clan territory on multiple occasions. Because of this, she has found herself in more than one dangerous situation. There was a time when she wandered too close to the river along the Carnation border and ended up falling into the water and getting washed downstream. A group of Carnation Clan cats found the she-cat and brought her back to TulipClan. She has little recollection of the event. Asphodel has denied her confusion on multiple occasions, and convincing her to move to the Elder's Den was for her own safety had been a feat. It wasn't until her brother Lioncloud agreed to relocate that she had finally relented. Next up is Goldenberry. Goldenberry is described as a short-haired, apricot mackerel, pseudo-tabby she-cat with golden eyes and a long tail. Goldenberry can be described as friendly, open-minded, kind, and relaxed. She is the mother to both Sagestar and Waxberry, and the grandmother to Stormstep and Daffodil Paw. Goldenberry served TulipClan for many moons, but decided it was time to retire when her daughter became leader. Her hearing was starting to deteriorate, and it was making it harder for the she-cat to hunt. Goldenberry is proud of both her daughters and what they have accomplished. As her only children, Golden has watched them grow into lovely clanmates who do more than their fair share within the clan. Despite her usually open-minded and kind persona, Goldenberry quite dislikes Slugheart and was rather annoyed when she found out that her daughter had taken Slug's son as a mate. Her distaste for the mother and son only strengthened due to their alienation of her grandson Daffodil Paw. Goldenberry likes to spend her days sunning herself in rays that shimmer through the gaps in the barn boards. She also likes to help Daffodil Paw with tending to his garden. Next on the list is Whitefoot. Whitefoot is described as a short-haired, white she-cat with hazel eyes. Whitefoot is known to be humorous, laid-back, playful, optimistic, and cheerful. Whitefoot is mates with Spiderstorm and the mother to Lilyfang. While she was an apprentice and a warrior, Whitefoot was always the most cheerful cat in all of TulipClan. There was very little that could happen that would dampen her mood. She cared not for rainy days or gloomy weather. There was always something good that came out of everything. As the moons went on, Spiderstorm eventually confessed his feelings for Whitefoot, to which she accepted. The two settled down and had one litter together, their only kit being Lilyfang. That was enough for the two of them, and they were always happy with their little family. Whitefoot has always been older than Spiderstorm, so it came to no surprise when the white she-cat retired to the Elder's Den before her mate. The pair had thought Spider would join her in a few moons, but upon receiving the position as deputy, the pair agreed that Chantrell needed Spiderstorm's support, and they agreed to wait a little longer for him to join her in the Elder's Den. In the Elder's Den, Whitefoot became restless. Goldenberry was nice company, but she was often preoccupied with her grandkids. It wasn't until Asphodel's retirement and Little Clouds that the she-cat finally felt like she had company once more. It was during that time that she and Little Cloud grew and became close friends. They had always been acquaintances, clanmates, but she knew him better as Spider's best friend than anything else. It was a little while later that Lion Cloud confessed the depths of his feelings for her mate. Whitefoot had been a little surprised, but she was willing to sit and listen and hear Lion Cloud out. She sympathized with his fear of dying or losing his memories like his sister, before having the chance to confess. Whitefoot urged the Cream Tom to tell Spiderstorm how he felt, though she could make no promises that he would reciprocate. Spiderstorm had never made any comments that would suggest he held romantic feelings for Toms. The trio eventually had a conversation, and although their relationship is a little complex, all three cats are happy in one another's company, and to them and TulipClan, that's what matters the most. And the last cat on our list is Lion Cloud. Cloud is described as a cream classic tabby tom with short fur and green eyes. Lion Cloud is described as helpful, self-reliant, active, and compassionate. He is the brother to Asphodel. Lion Cloud was a good apprentice and warrior. He was reliable, loyal, and enjoyed training apprentices alongside his best friend Spiderstorm. Lion Cloud didn't entirely agree with his sister's choice in partners, as she called them, never mates, but he knew there was nothing that he could say to stop Asphodel from doing what she wanted. When Asphodel's confusion became worse, Lion Cloud offered to move to the Elder's Den alongside his sister to give her comfort. He himself was not ready to retire, but his loyalty kept him at her side. Lion still likes to join patrols from time to time when Asphodel is either sleeping or has a moment of clarity. He misses border patrols and the feeling of wind through his fur. He himself also never took a mate, but that wasn't out of not wanting one. Lion's feelings for Spiderstorm always went deeper than friendship, but it was clear to the Cream Tom that the black-pelted Tom hadn't felt the same. It was even harder to express his feelings when Spiderstorm and Whitefoot became mates. As they grew older, Lion Cloud has become close with Whitefoot as well as Spiderstorm. Having moved to the Elder's Den before his friend, he found comfort in the white she-cat, eventually to the point where he confided in her about his feelings for her mate, and that he had harbored for many, many moons. Since his confession, the three cats have grown close. They do not consider them all of themselves to be mates, but Lion Cloud is closer to them than just friends would usually be. He shares their nests from time to time and helps to keep Whitefoot company while Spiderstorm acts as deputy. And so that is TulipClan, and that officially brings to an end my clan generator challenge. I just wanted to thank everybody who has been along with me through the years as I've worked on this challenge, and who have been extremely patient as I very slowly have made my way through it. This challenge has been really fun to do, but I also feel like I've grown a lot more as an artist, as I can see the progression and the style changes from my first video when I made Oleander Clan all the way to now. I hope to make more content regarding the characters you've seen in these videos over the future. I have a few ideas planned, maybe going in a bit more into character backstories and stuff like that. And yeah, I just thank you to everybody who has taken the time to sit down and watch these creations and listen to me ramble about fictional cats from a book series that has meant so much to me over the years. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.